Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome back to Besiege. This is a one-off, just trying to stroke my ego and assure myself that I can build things. So, yeah, don't worry, this is not going to be a thing. I'm not going to gloat or anything like that because I've not done anything absolutely picture perfect and... Didn't see that. No. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick follow-up basically after the series a week and a half ago when I wound up struggling quite a bit, let's be fair. And I wound up with this thing, which is the mysterious cog machine, or the great cog. So, it's just a catapult. That's really all there is to it. It's an amazing catapult. Yes. I've also forgotten the controls already. That's how it works. It snaps itself off immediately. But yeah, there's many things wrong with this. I've got to admit to that. But this is basically what I wound up with after like a week's worth of miniseries, which was about 2 hours gameplay, actually. Now, the thing is, I tend to like to, take my time and poke and prod and things like that. So this should be good. Victory! I can blow up a defenseless building. Excellent. Yes. But I did some poking and prodding, so I've got a few things I would like to quickly show you to prove to myself I'm not a complete and useless numpty. So, we wound up with the cog thing, and then I worked on the great cog, and then I worked on the cog 3. So as you can see, these designs have increased in complexity and size, though there's some missteps and malfunctions in there as well. As, well, it's me we're talking about here, so, But after the cog thing, what I wound up making was the great cog, taking lessons learned from everything that went wrong. So the Great Cog is a siege machine, which I put together after looking at a bunch of different things on the workshop, trying to work things out, and just spending like a few hours poking and prodding, trying to work out basic mechanisms. So the Great Cog is basically it's a reloadable bomb mortar. That's what it does. It's a mortar carrier, so it can flip out mortars. Well, it flips out the bombs, and it's got 2 reloads, so it can fire up to 3 times. The problem is it's got a faulty firing mechanism. That said, though, it's got decent armor plating and it's got great mobility. It's got tank steering, actually, which, so, that's good. Though it also has a slight flaw of, I think it's got a 60% chance when you deploy it of spontaneously blowing up because the magazine is faulty as well. So, you know, splat. No, splat. Come on. You can do this. There we go. I'm took like 5 tries to even get it to spawn in properly. Right. So, as I said, this thing is built around a reloadable mortar-style weapon. So, this entire rear section at the back is a mortar. So, it's very short-barreled. It started out as trying to work out a catapult, and I wound up making this like piston-based mortar-style thing, which can lob this central bomb in here. Then under here, we've got the 2 spare reloads in a magazine under the front of the vehicle, under this armor plating, though this armor plating doesn't protect it, so arrows from the sides will tend to detonate things. And that's got a piston-based loading system to try to reload it. Now the problem is where the bombs spawn, they spawn slightly in the wood above, so that's why it spontaneously blows itself up. And the other problem is it's got a faulty reloading mechanism too, so if you're not careful with it, it'll accidentally slip a bomb out of the magazine into the space beneath the mortar, and then the mortar, if you try to bring it back down to reload it, will just blow itself up instead. So, Right, now the keys were, if I press Z, if you watch this rear section here, it's primed itself. Now it is X is drop it back to position. I think I've got to try and get that bomb out of there. That was, no, V is launch it. I didn't assign the controls very well on this thing either. That's another fault. Oh, there's the reloader. Right, so as you can see, that's the reloading mechanism I built into it because the magazine is lower than the actual thing itself. But let's get the mortar up to position, shall we? So as you can see, the entire back section of the craft is ratcheted up. Because there's a bomb in the reloader already, it's, as you can see, already fallen out, and now it's stuck underneath the actual mortar section itself. So that's going to go bye-bye as soon as I try to bring the mortar back down. Still, though, I'm quite happy with the performance. If I press... not that. Oh, well. Right, let's tense it back up, get it out there. This wouldn't be something for me if I didn't mess it up somehow. Like that. I tried to catch it because you see there's this little lip under here which can catch the bombs in the magazine, but you have to be careful to get it to do it. There we go. Because as you can see, that lifts up to elevate the bomb to the mortar, and this one pushes at the same time, so that forces the thing from this loading slot into the mortar itself. But when it comes back, it actually catches slightly on the bombs underneath it and can help keep them in the magazine. So this thing is temperamental, to say the least. Let's ratchet that a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now let's actually fire this thing. Whee! Not bad. It's actually got some pretty decent range on it. It's kind of surprising given how small it is. But that's because it's got a massively powerful spring set powering this mortar. And then because of that spring on top there, which I set to tense it, it pulls it back down again like that. So it's sort of like bing, and then it goes back. So it's a very powerful thrusting motion. Like that. Though, as you can see, just by doing that so often, I've actually managed to shake the other bombs out of the magazine so it's ready to blow itself up again. Or just crack. Or something. No, that's completely jammed now. Okay. So I want to at least show you reloading this thing before I continue. So, let's do that. Let's check the loader. Okay, right. Elevate. Fire. Drop it back into place. There we go. Okay. So now, as you can see, that is starting to roll into the magazine. I have got this here, which gives it just like a little nudge. It's like, hey, bombs, you want to go this way? Nudgy, nudgy. Let me hit you with this metal plate and see if you'll start moving where I want you to go. But it's fairly gentle. I turned the speed down on it, but it'll nudge the things to try and get them rolling out of the magazine, but it's not perfect. Not perfect at all. Also, don't fire when it's in this position because it tends to blow itself up. Luckily, I elevated the barrel slightly, so yeah. So as you can see, it pushes up, that pushes it, the bomb goes straight into the slot, so it's right there. Then when that drops back into place, it keeps it right there in the mortar barrel. So the mortar barrel elevates, and pop. Just continuing to pummel that thing. And the last one's rolled out. Okay. So I mentioned this thing has tank steering, so it has full reverse here. And it can keep on going quite nicely. And as you can see, it's got quite a lot of agility, actually. It's more or less rivals the agility of those wheel-based ones we had at the end of last time. With one serious flaw, though. And the flaw is that, once again, it's got a unified gearage system. So if we start to lose traction on the wheels, then they'll start to spin all over the place and stuff like that. But that said, if we go back out to select a different map, this one can actually get up Marksman Pass quite easily because it's got a narrow enough wheelbase that it doesn't really slip that much. The only problem is if its bombs get detonated. So, as you can see, just keep on going, keep on going. It's slow enough so it can be precise. Then it grinds its way up here, like this. So even though it's got this shared powertrain, which was such a flaw before, it's just gone straight up it. So, as you can see, it's a lot better in terms of mobility. Unless it hits a hill or something. It needs a little bit of momentum sometimes. Come on. I'm trying to show you off here. Maybe it's because it's carrying the bombs. Yeah, actually this is the shared gearage causing issues now. Because as you can see, some of them are losing traction, so the others are just spinning freely, and that's losing all of its power. As soon as one loses traction on one side, the entire side basically just gives up the ghost. So, well, it made it further and faster than the previous one did, so you've got to give it that, you know. Anyway, now that I've done that, let's go back to our poor defenseless keep here and show you the next thing I did. Because this is both an upgrade and a downgrade to this one I've just shown you. It's funny how that works, isn't it? But it's got its own flaws, and so I can show you like 3 different things with it. I can show you the main cannon on the Cog 3, where the first wheelbase I worked out for it, and then the ish finished version, though it's still faulty as all heck. Anyway, let's get the main cannon out. Okay, so this is the Cog 3 main cannon. The thing I was trying for here is a more compact mortar, as you can see on the back there, a greater magazine capacity. So the 2 magazines in the previous machine, there's now 4 in there, and a stable reload system which can actually reload all 4 shots reliably, and a system that stops it from accidentally emptying the magazine into the mortar's base so that it either jams up or goes boom. It actually works, oddly enough. Let's get in there. So, yep. Because of the initial spring tension, it knocks it straight out of the mortar base. So let's tense that back up. Then we need to operate the loading mechanism, which is not a piston. It's actually got it's actually this wooden block in here with a winch on it and metal plate, so it slides along. So as you can see, it's just like tugging, tugging, tugging. It just, as you pull it, it shortens the magazine, and so it forces things to move along. Now I elevate the mortar, which has got 2 extra pieces. It's got this piece up here and this piece up here. This top section is a bit of armor plating, so you can build a smooth top on it. While this one underneath is the mechanism that catches things. And as a happy accident, this forces down the end of the magazine, so the next bomb just sits there very cozily and won't go anywhere. So, you know, that's really good, that. And the next bomb is just sitting right there, all happy and ready to go boom. So, you know, it's pretty good. The problem is, though, I've discovered that this mortar is actually weaker than the one on the previous machine. It's got the same amount of force behind it, but it's half the length on the barrel section, and it turns out that means it's lost some power when it's trying to launch the shots. So, you see, it's not going... It's going like, at most, half the distance, maybe about 2/3 the distance, because you've got to remember this is a longer machine and it sits further back and lower as well, so, you know. The previous machine had its mortar higher up, but that's at most 2/3 of the distance in question, so the previous one would have blew it up in a single shot from where it started. This one can't even reach it. But, you know, well, it makes up for it by the fact that it can just reload. So if I tense the magazine up a little bit more, and it goes boom. I didn't say it wouldn't go boom. It does go boom sometimes, especially if the magazine is mismanaged, like I did there, but there we go. And launch. Then I can drop this back in, tense up the magazine again to bring things a bit further. That's in the appropriate spots. Raise the mortar once more. That's the next bomb just sitting there waiting. Launches. That's good. And then, as you see this metal plate on here, that's got a little lip on it which forces the bomb back into the magazine as it corrects itself. But the key to this is the fact that these armor pieces are only held in by a single bracer, so they very happily twist as it goes down. And this accidentally forces it down, which just helps. If it wasn't forcing it down, this piece by itself back here would still be enough to hold it, though. That's still enough to stop it from getting jammed. Still, I need to unload it again. Yep. Just got to be a bit careful. Load up. There we go. So as you can see, already we've got a massive improvement. This thing has not jammed itself once. It did blow itself up at one point. So, you know, as I said, it's a bit faulty. But if you accept the reduced power of the mortar, as in it's got more limited range, then, you know, we've got something which is quite nice and workable here. So I'm going to load that one in. Elevates, pop, drops in, and then we pull this into the final section to get the... Unfortunately, the magazine jammed, and so it self-destructed. It can do that sometimes when the... because you're towing the piece inside the magazine, if it catches, it can cause a detonation. So, yeah, there you go. So let's take this to the next stage, which I have saved, which is mobile. The Cockpit mobile version. Let's just set this on the ground, and there we go. So it's the same mechanism. It's just got a drivetrain attached to it now. And you can probably already see one of the problems with this compared to the previous one, and that is the fact that this drivetrain is already substantially wider, and it's also longer. Also, it's got shared power just like before, so if the wheels start to lose their grip, it's going to go bye-bye, quite honestly. But it's the same mechanism, just mounted differently. The reason why this is wider, by the way, and not taller, is the fact I've actually spun the armor plates making the magazine's chamber through 90 degrees. In the previous design, it was like attached above and below, and this one is attached to the sides, so that's forced it to be wider. Though because of this lowered firing piece here, as part of the firing mechanism, I could actually narrow this again, make it a couple of blocks narrower. Because as it stands, it's too wide to actually do that pass. It can't get up the stones. It just slips off. So, yeah, I'm already seeing a way I could improve this thing. What can I say? I love my time to prod and poke. Yes. Also, this thing is faster as well. The gearage is a lot higher. So it's like, whee! But it's got the same range limitations, but it can get into place faster at least. So let's go ahead and load it up. Is there a bomb in the magazine space? There is, actually, so we can just go ahead and lift that one immediately. Victory! The loss of power on that mortar is something that I feel quite keenly in this design. Yeah. I really would like to retool this again to get the mortar a bit bigger. Anyway. That's all that this thing does. It's got longer. So the last version I've got to show you is one that I built for testing and general use. It's not got anything for carrying because some of the missions do that. It has got melee weapons. It's got a reworked wheel set which don't slip on slopes, which is kind of important. And it's got a lot of armor plating. Unfortunately, it's gained a flaw, as in the weaponry loading system is jammed up a little bit. I'm not sure why, but... Oh yeah, also, I forgot. When you attach the buzzsaw on this, it stops that from connecting to the wheels properly. Blast it. Which means I need to actually really quickly correct this thing so it's got power to the wheels. There we go. And this one needs to be connected down here as well. There we go. And I forgot to turn the mirror mode on, so... Don't worry. I'm slightly embarrassed by this, of course, but I knew I'd mess up at some point. I've messed up plenty of times in this video already, actually. So, done that. Let's save this once again as the cog3. Overwrite it, yes. So here we go. As you can see, it's got 3 points of contact. These wheels are individually separate and individually powered, so if one loses traction, the others don't. Unfortunately, it's too wide still for the narrow stone ramp, which we used for testing earlier. It's got some other advantages, though. First off, it's thoroughly and heavily armoured on all the forward sections, as you can see, including that top bit, which I think is part of the reason why it's a bit unreliable compared to how it was before. I think the increased weight's caused issues. It's also got some forward flamethrower options, just there for torching infantry. Like, hello, infantry. So it can protect itself a little bit there. It's got saw blades on the sides. It's got full drivetrain, four points of contact. with plenty of interesting looking cogs all over the place. So this thing does look a lot more like a cog monster. So, you know, victory there, I suppose. So as you can see how the armor plating is shifting as it moves around. So its vehicle is not, it's very heavily braced, but its weight is counting against it quite a lot. I quite like those two little wheels I've attached there, because it's like they randomly spin and then stop as it moves around because they were catching on the wheel in front of it. So, you know, a bit of an oddity there. Now, let's see if we can actually load this thing and launch it. The rear section is a bit exposed, but let's tense the mortar. That's fine. Let's begin to pull on the magazine. Yeah, there we go. The magazine pulley caught immediately. So, yeah. As I said, the weight and the difference in how it flexes seems to have caused a major issue. So, if anything, I think it's too... Yeah. I can see what's going on. That is now catching on the next part of the magazine and not able to go past that. Because because the magazine is so rigid now, it's not flexing. I mean, look at all this bracing underneath that's holding it all together. Unfortunately, a lot of that's needed because of the increased weight. So I think this bracing would have to be redone to get this thing functional in its current form. So yeah, the magazine's loading mechanism is completely fouled up. Okay, let's go ahead and load up. And it goes boom. So yeah, as you can see, the mechanism that kept it from actually detonating, the mechanism that kept the extra bombs from falling out is also fouled up. So you can see what I mean by the fact this thing is faulty. It's faulty as all hell, especially compared to the previous version. I mean, before the armor went on it, it was actually pretty good. I mean, admittedly, the weapon is not the greatest thing around. Oop. But now, because of the increased weight and stuff, it's just completely messed up. This thing needs to be torn apart and rebuilt again, quite honestly. Oh well, at least it's still got one option for killing this place. Come on, I'm going to kill you. Really? Okay, it had an internal magazine and it didn't even blow up from the magazine explosion. It didn't even hit the castle. Well, that's because the magazine's actually recessed a fair bit. The first bomb is like back here, so I guess it's too protected. The bombs are too protected. It can't even suicide properly. Slight drawback, that. But yeah, apart from the faults that came in from the additions to the design, that is actually the most advanced vehicle I've ever made in this. And that's kind of what I wanted to show off to you guys. That I too can make random things in this game, and sometimes they even work. Usually not, but sometimes they do. But yeah, this is the last one with the most functional cannon on it, I suppose. If you ignore the reduced range. Yeah, look, see, it pulls there, and then you see the entire front bit flexing a little bit, and then it comes loose and moves on. I think it's because it's so rigid, it stops it from doing that. That's why it's blowing up on the up armored version. Oh, that didn't even do it. And this one can suicide. There you go. This one can suicide. But that is also all I really wanted to show you guys for this video. So, there you go. This has been Iron Mark III. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed a look at the coggy thing. And I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.